Right, hey guys, how we doing? Been a while, but we're checking out a What's in an OP video by Mother's Basement, because I absolutely loved ODDTAXI. I loved Giguk's video on ODDTAXI. I feel like more people need to watch ODDTAXI, so like, I'm going to try and help spread the word by reacting to some ODDTAXI stuff, and I love these What's in an OP videos. I love the way that Jeff analyzes the openings and that, and sees how it plays in. There were a few things that I noticed in the opening, but I won't go into it yet, which I thought helped. You didn't really notice until the end of the series. Like, a couple of things that made no sense to me until after the very last episode. So let's see how this goes, shall we? Because it's a funky-ass tune as well, like, isn't it? Hi.
If you're watching this video, it's because someone who cares about you, or if you don't have one of those, the YouTube algorithm has concluded that your life
it's so good. Really recommend it.
By a 13-episode dose of ODDTAXI.
Definitely. It's only 13 episodes as well. It's class.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I would love to elaborate on that, but I kind of need you to trust me on this, even if you don't like furry stuff or cartoons or anime or whatever.
Oh, really? Just watch it. Oh my god.
I could tell you about what you're missing in this show will spoil some of its magic for you. ODDTAXI is a twisty, puzzle-boxy mystery.
It is.
Character-driven machinations, every bit as complex and tightly tuned as those of Knives Out, combined with the impeccable pace of subtextually layered, infectiously rhythmic dialogue of a Tarantino or Coen Brothers movie. Only it's
everyone does seem to be comparing it to Tarantino stuff, like
a city rather than a mansion, and maintains that level of quality
for
a full 4.5-hour, 13-episode runtime, using the medium of animation itself as the foundation of its mysteries. And the final payoff of those mysteries
is so good.
Is at once perfectly satisfying in every way the show leads you to hope it will be, and
it's class. Like, every mystery they you think is going to be left open, they wrap everything up and it's like,
But I assure you I am not.
Mystery Kiss!
Or am I when I tell you that its low-key, unassuming little Newgrounds vibe of an intro is one of the smartest anime openings ever made?
Yeah.
I will stake my reputation on that.
Ooh.
And my YouTube stats.
Damn.
Since I put writing about the equally masterful yet far more clickable Chainsaw Man manga on hold to do this.
Oh, wow. Okay, go ahead, because I want to check that out, because I want to see the anime. I want to see what it's got.
Tank-tier legend of an opening. A minimalist masterpiece of cleverly hidden subtext and perfectly considered framing, which, come to think of it, could also describe the show itself. But
yes.
Like the show itself,
Good.
You can't really demonstrate why this OP is so good without taking something away from your experience of it. So I need to ask you for 3 favors now.
Go watch it.
1, go watch ODDTAXI immediately if you haven't already. 2, once that binge watch has flown by, which will take mere minutes,
then come back to this.
Watch this to the end. Then 3, because YouTube really doesn't like it when I do this early spoiler warning thing or talk about obscure anime in general, if I manage to blow your mind with some part of this video, please hit the like button to let me know.
Go to the original video, leave a like on it, subscribe to Jeff if you haven't already, on this basement.
Or you could send it to a friend who hates anime, because frankly,
why not?
Even if you're
this is for everybody.
Cinema connoisseur who only
they need to see this. They do need to see this.
And the finest of prestige television dramas. ODDTAXI's gonna do things for and to you.
Yeah.
Forget the anime awards. This show deserves to be snubbed by the Emmys. Okay, now that I have truly pushed
I don't mind. This is cool.
Let's
have a refresh on the story.
It's time to dive into those spoilers and that opening. A good mystery is like a good magic trick, in that both aim to show you one thing while making you believe
another. Yeah.
And just like great magicians, the mark of a great mystery smith is their willingness to lay their cards on the table and let you examine them thoroughly before they proceed to fool you completely.
Yeah.
Anyway. With this OP, ODDTAXI is tipping its hand to the audience at the start of every episode, offering obvious clues as to the nature of its characters, while more subtle ones all but give away its deepest mysteries.
Okay.
In fact, one of the questions that the show pushes to its forefront, a retrospectively obvious red herring, is answered quite plainly in the opening's
it's a cat.
first sequence, which sees Adokawa enjoying a juice box at the end of a long night in his favorite parkside parking spot, only for a cute little black cat to wander up and interrupt him.
Yeah.
He goes to pet it, and it walks up curiously before running away, then screams in time with the music after he gets in his cab to drive off, which is very clearly a metaphor for the cat girl who disappeared into the darkness of Tokyo after last being seen taking one of his cabs. Or so the show is happy to let you think.
Meant to make you think that. That's quite cool. I like that. Yeah, that's clever.
Allows it to hide in plain sight. This entirely.
It's like, he's even got the bit where his head spins and it shows the drawer.
That lives in his closet. We spend the whole show ominously staring.
What was in it? And it's just like, oh, okay.
Wondering.
But it makes sense at the end.
Yet here, and even more plainly, 57 seconds in, right before
yeah.
the door turns into Adokawa's
head and spins around.
The opening lays it out plain as day.
Yeah.
It's a black cat. No missing girls or money or guns in there.
Nothing.
Just a cat.
Yeah.
But of course, because you then see the closet turn into a walrus head, you're inclined to dismiss that.
Yeah, it's like, what is that? That's just a random little thing that makes no sense because everything's animals in this.
Locked away memories of the missing girl, or his guilt over what he did to her. Muse like Goriki and Shirakawa do as they poke at our hero's head.
Yeah, because they're trying to. They're seeing the problem and trying to help him. Yeah.
A cat's just a cat, and a man's just a
walrus.
A capoeira kick transition brings us from there to another shot that says as much. A decidedly mundane little skit where Adokawa stubbornly stretches his stubby arms out the window to ineffectually paw at some bird poop.
Which I thought was weird because it's like, why would a bird poop on a window when they're all like the creatures that live within that world?
Pathetically. Though I guess that descriptor applies to most of the character shots, even the less grounded ones. Like, I don't even think I have to explain Taichi Kawasawa's. It's a flawless depiction of how sporadic social media attention affects the people who want it.
Yeah, as long as he's getting it, he's happy, and if he's not, he's sad, yeah.
Likewise,
the love he's trying to search for on the internet, yeah.
Serves as a broad and straightforward portrait.
Very much so, yeah.
Inherent myopic absurdity of endlessly swiping right in a quest for.
Bless him, man. I felt so bad for him, the situation he got himself in.
Through the multi-armed Kakitani's transitional connection to the flurry of punches thrown by the show's other monkey character, Dobu.
He's so cool.
Back a little further, we see is taking out his frustrations over falling behind his former kohai and
who doesn't come into the show for a while.
He and Kakitani are both using their sandbag and phone respectively as outlets for their feelings of inadequacy over having failed to find the success and happiness that they've spent their lives chasing.
Interesting. Cool. Nice contrast.
Basically, every character in this opening is chasing.
And the taxi's in between them both for 1 second there as well, isn't it?
On others as they chase their dreams, save for Adokawa himself, who's content to just sit in his cab
and just
enjoying the city
be himself.
night air. Bringing it back to Yano for a second, though, his introduction is one of the best considered bits of the whole OP, as we see the incessantly rapping Yakuza thug and his scooter slide into frame in perfect time with the first beat and bars of DJ Punpi's hip-hop section of the theme song.
Right.
Which actually isn't the only way that the OP uses external context
okay,
to
cool.
tell us more about the characters than the visuals alone can show.
Right.
For instance, our introduction to the Daimon brothers is a bit weird in that they're little personality-packed bouncing that show how one of them's a bit goofy and the others overly serious are happening
on
the heads of the struggling
comedians.
comedy act,
yeah.
Adokawa's favorite radio hosts, Homo sapiens. Or at least it seems strange until you realize that the Daimons are played by the Miki Manzai comedy duo, and that their antics in the show make for a better Manzai routine than basically anything Homo sapiens puts
wow.
On that note, it's also quite telling in a quite depressing way how much the more famous and successful Baba has to stoop down in order to
get down to his level. That is interesting, yeah.
The nose symbolism in the OP.
God, that was a bit depressing to see. He's obviously doing game references here. Yeah. The dodo.
As they randomly
the erasers and that. Yeah.
Taking what life throws at him instead of taking charge of his life. Though one of those prizes is a little more meaningful than the others and very much worth paying attention to. That pen appears appears in
Oh
every
my
episode of the show. It's also on one of the billboards behind Dobu
God!
and Yano, and it plays into a podcast-style audio drama that was released alongside the series on YouTube. It is
Wait, the pen's in every
essential
episode?
or at least essential wiki transcript reading for any hardcore ODDTAXI fan. Oh, and speaking of cool supplementary material, on the last billboard behind Dobu and Yano, after Adokawa's done
Taxi goes past, right?
the two of them, we find the trapper-hatted bear that is DJ Punpi's official ODDTAXI persona, as seen in the full music video version of this.
Oh my god, there's so much going on.
One shot, the music video low-key gave away the series' biggest, most stylish twist.
Oh.
This is quite clearly how Adokawa sees humans in his rear view.
Yeah. Whoa.
But again, very few people thought about it that way when the video released back in April, because musicians becoming anime characters is incredibly common in Anisong promo videos.
The dodo.
Taxis
Oh my god, that bit was amazing.
Of conventions like this that are so often creative afterthoughts and thus can serve as blind spots for its audience, that allows it to hide dead giveaways for some of its craziest twists in plain sight.
Yeah, amazing.
For example, it's not unusual to see vaguely awkward credit placement in anime openings that cuts characters' bodies or faces off in weird ways.
Okay.
Sometimes there's just too much text that's gotta be crammed
But
into
why
one shot.
this bit?
But then, when you consider that in the context of the rest of this opening, where a careful effort has clearly been made to make the text of every other title fit aesthetically around the drawings and into the shot composition, and where, when there really is just too much on screen at once, we're always given a second to appreciate...
To take it in, yeah, before it shows. Right.
Or after it appears, this shot starts to seem pretty sus.
Oh, okay.
Stranger still, this credit placement obscures the face of Mystery Kiss's central member, Rui. As the only unmasked singer in the group, you'd expect her to hog the spotlight created by
Interesting.
but instead she steps quickly into
In and out of it.
kind of reflecting what happens to her career at the show.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the mask of Yuki Mitsuya is always in full view.
Yeah.
The very first shot after the title card, the opening is all but screaming at you to pay attention.
To her.
And if you look at that shot of the missing girl the way that Adokawa would, it's immediately clear why. Judging by her cheek tufts, Yuki's the only character in this opening who fits that silhouette.
Oh my god.
The answer to the anime's central mystery is right there, where only our hero can see it.
Yeah.
All foreshadowed through the simple,
thoughtless
placement
of
some text. I hope you're seeing why I think this opening is genius now. And that's still not the complete picture.
We got more?
See, besides Adokawa, that would make Yuki the only character who appears in this opening more than once, which would be a big inconsistency. Except that, obviously, she's not, because that's not actually Yuki dancing with Mystery Kiss, but rather Sakura Watagaki, who murdered her to take her place, and is now poised to break out as a star now that Rui's been arrested.
Out of the picture, yep. So glad. And then the ending,
should I say, odd end still left to be tied up. Before I can finish talking about this opening and the final answer it has to give, I've got to talk a bit about that ending. Well, okay, I don't really gotta, but
you want to.
Only get this one ODDTAXI video, so I'm making it.
Go for it.
Despite only being given a handful of lines to explain what she did and why she did it, Watagaki is one of my favorite anime villains ever. And it's the series' tight, interconnected, thematically consistent writing that makes her so good.
Okay.
In very little time, she's implied to combine basically all of the series' villains' worst traits. She's ruthlessly self-serving, like Dobu and Yano, compulsively narcissistic, like Kabusawa.
Interesting.
She uses her cuteness to disarm and take advantage.
Yes.
Shiho did to Kakitani.
Oh my god.
And like Tanaka, she's driven to violently pursue any lucky opportunity that comes her way. Even telling her mom that she found Adokawa's taxi the same way that Tanaka did. In other words, she encapsulates every existential threat to the social ecosystem that we've spent the last 13 episodes exploring.
Wow.
The interconnected world that this opening so artfully presents. She's someone who puts her own needs and status over her friends, her community, and
no one else matters, man.
Even the Yakuza, the sanctity of human life itself. Her motivations are understandable, sympathetic even. Her doting, beleaguered mom had big dreams that she never got to fulfill, so for both of their sake, her daughter will do
anything she can to, like, make it work,
everything she needs to do in order to make her dreams come true. But as Tanaka learned rather traumatically, past tragedies are never a license to inflict future ones on others. And I can think of no greater tragedy than to see Odokawa, who we've spent this whole series getting to know and watching as he slowly works his way
found out what happened to him now.
Self-actualization, taken away from us and from Goriki and Shirakawa right when he's finally found it.
Yeah.
Especially for such selfish reasons. But at the same time, as we've seen time and again in the tragic backstories and current events of characters throughout this series, that is often just how it be.
Yeah, just how it happens, and it's like, whoa.
2020 Earth. Random acts of greed and thoughtlessness ruining or even ending lives in an instant. And this may just be where Odokawa's luck has run out. Or maybe he told the police about Wadagaki in time.
Maybe. It's so many questions, because he said, I need to talk to the police, because he's very well aware that he hadn't told them yet.
His strong sense of community and justice will trump her evil in the end. The last episode certainly provides a lot of potential narrative outs from this situation.
It really
but all
does.
that's left ambiguous, so that we can stare up at the ceiling, pondering which of these two forces will win in the end.
Yeah, oh my god.
Odokawa's world and our own, which is Odokawa's world, of course. I think the OP's final shots hold some hope for him and us, though. Odokawa sits watching the sunset from a car that has either been flipped in post, or maybe he's just chilling in the passenger seat.
Oh, yeah.
Either way, water rushes in to fill the screen and end the scene, and we see a human child Odokawa being
drowning
into it. The trigger for both the beginning and end of his weird mental condition that turns all the people around him.
I like that became a thing.
Interestingly, the final shot after that is the only time in this OP where we see Odokawa's cab without any anthropomorphic animals in or around it. In other words, this could take place after he recovers, right when Wadagaki plans to attack him. And at this very interesting shot's conclusion, after his cab has rolled and bumped to a stop in perfect time with the final guitar chord and the music has faded away, the streetlight turns green, implying that Odokawa will keep moving forward in life. Or maybe I'm reading too much into it.
Maybe, that's a bit of a stretch, but whatever.
Off the OP for a show about a taxi cab. Maybe his brake light's going out while the lights of the city and stars above him shine on all around him gives this shot a much darker meaning. One thing is certain, though, that I am deeply, obsessively invested in the fate of this exploit.
Yeah, definitely. I want to know, but then I hope they don't tell us.
I can find to believe he will be okay. At the very least, I know I'm better off in general and more artistically enriched just
by seeing the show.
Experienced his story, though, and now you are too. And all that I've analyzed is still just the tip of the iceberg of hidden details in this show.
Interesting. I might have to watch it again.
Rewatching it as you tie your friends down, tape their eyes open, and help start recruiting for this cult. Oh yeah, you're in a cult now. Maybe I should have.
Whoa! Oh no! Oh god!
Professional shitbag signing out
from my mother's basement. Oh mate, that was boss. There were some really interesting takes on that opening, and I'm gonna have to go through it again if that's the case. If that pens in every episode, I did not notice that. And there's some interesting bits about the posters and that. That was cool. If you've not seen ODDTAXI, I really, really recommend it. It's so good, and you will not be disappointed. Everything makes sense at the end. It really, really, really does. So yeah, quick thank you to my patrons for supporting the channel. If you want to have your name at the end of every video that I upload, click the link in the description to the Patreon page. $1 a month is all I ask to help support the channel. Helps a lot. Thank you very much for that. And thank you guys very much for watching this video. What did you guys think of that? What do you guys think of this? Click like, subscribe if you haven't already. Leave comments down below. Let me know what I should watch and discuss in future videos. And I'll see you guys. It's all you guys next time.